Welcome to Politics Done Right. My name is Egberto Willis, your host. Folks, we have a great show for you today. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Harris County. Good morning, Texas. Good morning, the United States of America. Good morning, the world. How's everybody doing this morning? We are doing fine, and we trust that you're doing fine. You will be doing fine because you will make sure that you will control your destiny. This is Politics Done Right, and we are going to do it right here. It's not only politics, but life in general. In the studio with us is the one and only Jack Van Beber and Howard Reynolds. How are my peeps
Well,
doing in that studio?
good morning, Egberto. It looks like we have an alarm going off here.
That,
Yeah. Well, Jack is running the show today.
all right, Jack. What's going on in the house? Well, Jack, even if you're
anybody
running the
see a mock? Did anybody hear a mockingbird sing?
I didn't. I didn't. I'm sorry. The thing about it is
We need to
I
listen for the mockingbirds.
I don't know what it sounds like though. Give me that mockingbird sound.
The mockingbird uses all the other bird calls, and they go through repertoires of what they've heard during the day, basically. And it's really nice to listen to them, to change the bird sounds, the bird songs. And it was something I used to love to sit outside and listen to, and I haven't been hearing it.
You
So I'm
did say
wondering
that. You did say that yesterday. They actually mimic other birds and they kind of sound like them. So yeah, you did say that yesterday. But anyway,
Yes.
what's the word of the day, my dear brother?
well, the word of the day is donate. you know, please donate to KPFT. Politics done right. We know you listen. We know you love it. Donate what you can if you can. And the word of the day is the word of the day is
And he
Greece.
searches, and he's
yeah,
searching for the word of the day.
yeah.
Greece is the
Howard, he's
word.
searching. He's searching. Howard,
I
he's
was
bringing it.
I was such an ugly baby. The doctor slapped everybody. That was
Oh,
Phyllis Diller.
oh
That
my
was Phyllis
goodness.
Diller.
Oh my goodness.
So
Well, I'm going to correct that because I'm going to correct that. It is a distinct impossibility for somebody this handsome to have been an ugly baby, brother Jacques. So I
all
I
babies
beg
are
to differ with
lovely.
that.
All babies. All
Yes.
babies are.
There you
And
go.
and babies matter.
Yeah, yeah, I
Babies'
like
lives
that.
matter. Yeah. Yeah.
Babies matter.
Okay.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. Anyway, folks, so what's the word, Howard?
Well, the word is we're here and we've got a fine show to do. Folks, again, this is politics done right. If you like this show, if you agree with the show, even if you don't agree with the show, donate to KPFT 713-526-5738. Keep this show alive, whether you agree with it or not. It may give you some thought, some food for thought. Like, gee, I really don't like that Egberto guy, but he did say something that started a little thought there. Maybe he's onto something. And if they ever met you in person, they would absolutely love you because you're the best.
Oh, thank you. Ditto, 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 and ditto. But anyway, folks, we got a great show for you today. Title of the show is Biden Comes Out Swinging. Stand Up America. Brett Adkins discusses SCOTUS. And if we can get to it, we need doctors. So we have a great program for you. Remember that you can get us in many different forms. Go ahead and if you're tuned into 90.1 FM on the radio, hey, you're listening to us on air. You can also listen to us by streaming with the TuneIn application that you can download from the Android or Apple Store. You can also go to kpft.org and listen to us. Click that listen button. And while you're there, consider just clicking that donate button as well and donating a little something, something in the name of Politics Done Right for KPFT. You can watch us live right now on politics on facebook.com/kpft Houston, facebook.com/kpft Houston. If you're looking at me right now, I'm wearing my rock shocks because I'm going right to my spinning as soon as the show is done. So I'm ready and prepared with my rock shots jersey. Anyhow, as well, you can reach us on YouTube Live. You can watch the show on YouTube Live. politicsdoneright.tv. Why do you, for those who watch us and not just listen to us, you get to see the videos that we also prepare every single day for the show. We make sure to give context to a lot of what you're seeing on TV. You can also get our podcast at politicsdoneright.com/podcast. In the case that we don't get through all of our program because you call in and you take priority over anything that I prepare to do, in that event, you can always go to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter, politicsdoneright.com/newsletter, and you have all the links to the topics that we intended to discuss on the show, as well as the videos, etc., etc., etc. I know Jack Van Beber gets a newsletter every morning, and he makes sure and he check it out, and he always knows what we're going to talk about in the beginning. Anyway, welcome aboard, Melon Keelan from Barcelona, Spain. She's the first one in the chat. Thank you so kindly for being here. Anyway, folks, we need to get talking on the topic, but before we get talking on the topic, I need to give a big thank you to a whole lot of people, starting from those who gave in the beginning of our drive. And these are Joan Edwards, thank you so kindly. Richard Hall, thank you so kindly. Mike Franklin, thank you so kindly. Joseph Salazar, thank you so kindly. Cesar Gonzalez, thank you so kindly. Gonzalo Rodriguez, thank you so kindly. Jimmy Dunn, thank you so kindly. Susan Reinhardt, thank you so kindly. Frederick Portnoy, thank you so kindly. David Villarreal, thank you so kindly. Agustin Gaona, thank you so kindly. David Pena, thank you so kindly. James Owens, thank you so kindly. Christopher Travis, thank you so kindly. Joseph Allen, thank you so kindly. It is you who ensure we can continue to do this. We cannot do this without those wonderful folks. And by the way, everybody that's listening is wonderful. Those who say, I have a little extra, I want to keep this going, and went ahead and opened those pocketbooks and gave, thank you. You are putting your pocketbook where your country is, based on the things we talk about. And we're going to talk about some more today as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Call 713-526-5738, extension number 1, to go ahead and donate. And I'm getting to the program, folks, but I just have to get this out of the way so those who are predisposed to give have the instructions on how to give, and then we're going into the program. So stick with me. Don't jump and say, oh, they are begging for money again. No, wait, we have a program for you. We got a program for you, but we got to get this. We got to get people saying, okay, we are going to get the program, but let's go ahead and give a little bit. Okay, 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to give. You can give any amount that you can, but there are some specific numbers that mean something. $40 make you a voting member of Pacifica Network, which means you can decide what happens in not only the station, but throughout the country, our 5 major stations and affiliates, etc. You get the power to do that with a $40 contribution. With a $100 contribution, you can get the Summer Sizzler t-shirt, a beautiful t-shirt with the fire. Hey, it's hot right now. So hot, a lot of things are happening, but you can use that as a catalyst to support KPFT. It's a $100 contribution. You don't have to pay it all at once. You can also get a contribution for $100 for the Politics Done Right t-shirt with that great logo designed by Robin. Please consider doing that as well. I'd love to walk around Houston and see a few Politics Done Right t-shirts every day saying, yes, we have our walking billboards around that says this is what we want to hear. And likewise, anybody, we can have Breakfast with Egberto, a $250 donation, which really goes far, helps us out with the things we need to do. It's another way, and I'll take you to coffee. We'll go drink some coffee and have a chat, just speak and talk and talk. You may want to burn my ears with something. My ears will be all yours. A $250 contribution will do that. And again, look, none of this stuff is worth the money that you're giving. What you're doing is you're making sure to extend what we can do here at Community Radio, what we can do here as far as informing folks, etc., etc., etc. We can't do it without you. So we just want to ask you so kindly to be a part. Anyway, let's get started with Brett. Number one more time, 713-526-5738, extension 1 to give. We are taking calls. We want you to call in as well, 713-526-5738. And when you want to talk, hit extension 2 to come on air right away, extension 1 to donate. 713-526-5738. Okay, now that that is over, out of the way for now, I interviewed, as you guys know, we went to Chicago a few weeks ago, and we had, I did over, I said 44 interviews, but I did interviews after I got back for the people that we couldn't connect in Chicago. So I'm up to over 50 interviews. And these are interviews of people with substance, people that are making a change in our society, people that want to make that change and work to help people make that change. And that was the kind of interviews that we did. Today we have Brett Edkins, Managing Director of Policy and Political Affairs at Stand Up America. We're going to be discussing the SCOTUS right now, the Supreme Court of the United States, especially in these times. Very, very important. So I'm going to play that. After I play that, please consider calling in 713-526-5738 and hit the extension 2 to talk or extension 1 to give, or both. Call 2 times. Anyway, here we go with the program, my dear brothers and sisters. Welcome to Politics Done Right. My name is Egberto Willies, your host, and today we're here with Brett Edkins, and he is with, and I won't say it, he will.
Stand Up America.
Hey, let me tell you, the reason I wanted to talk to you is I heard you know everything there is to know about the Supreme Court.
Not true, but
you know, it's close enough for government work, you know,
Sure.
that we can say that. Now, this is how I define the Supreme Court. I define the Supreme Court as the only undemocratic branch of government. Okay? Now, I don't think you would have said the same. Explain.
well, it is virtually undemocratic. The Senate is also not a purely democratic
True.
institution. There are 2 senators from California and 2 from Wyoming.
Yes.
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Right.
But you're absolutely right. It's purposefully somewhat divorced from
Right.
regular day-to-day politics.
Mm-hmm.
That's partly by design, but when the court gets as extreme as it is right now, you start to see the weaknesses of that system.
Well, let me ask you this, because I don't. There rarely anybody who would just come and say, "Oh, it's by design," even though I know that, and I have reasons to believe why it is by design. But you tell me, why is it by design?
Well, judges are supposed to be fair, balanced, uninfluenced by day-to-day politics,
Right.
uninfluenced about whether they need to run for re-election and be popular.
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to be defending the rights of minorities, people who are marginalized, people who need a court
Right.
to give them a fair hearing. That's why justice is blind.
Right.
And that is obviously not exactly what's happening now. We have
Right.
a lot of money and politics feeding into the nomination system, who gets nominated, who becomes a lower court judge, and then who becomes a Supreme Court judge, to the point where we're at now, where the court is as partisan and as divided as ever.
You said that the reason why you have this in effect, paraphrasing you want them to be measured and not worried about re-election and that sort of stuff. Of course, if you're in a state like Texas, we elect our judges from Supreme Court judges all the way down.
Yeah.
And, I guess our Supreme Court now is just as corrupt as the current Supreme Court. So it seems to me like, in effect, neither one work. Whether they vote them in or they're elected in, or they're elected in or they're appointed in, it seems like the results can be the same. So maybe should we vote them in?
Well, I mean,
I'm just
no. Sandra Day O'Connor and other justices have long warned about the dangers of electing judges at a state level. There's
And I
a lot
agree.
of problems with
Yes.
it. There's obviously also a lot of problems with having justices who linger on until they either die or retire at the time that they want. They politically retire when a Republican or a Democrat can appoint their replacement.
Right.
You have RBG, who held on for dear life until she hoped Hillary Clinton would be able to appoint her replacement. That's also a problem. That's why we need term limits at the Supreme Court. We need expansion at the Supreme Court. We need reforms.
You know, I have always been anti-term limits because I believe the people have the right to elect who they elect. But I think that's a good compromise. It's not a compromise. I think it should be a requirement, because if you're appointed and not easily removed from appointment, I think term limits should be that fail-safe method. So and I don't think that's a hard argument to put out there at all.
No, there's long been bipartisan agreement.
There is bipartisan agreement.
There have been Republicans in the past that know currently, because Republicans have an advantage on the court. But in times before, when they didn't have quite the advantage, plenty of Republicans have recognized that term limits make sense.
Right.
It would bring some stability to the court.
Right.
Every president would basically get to point two.
Right.
And they would serve 18-year terms.
Also, it's 18 years?
That's the most common
right.
proposal. So
Right,
that every
right.
president gets two. And you wouldn't have a situation where someone like Obama, who served 8 years, only got two justices.
And
Trump, 4 years,
4 years, three. Makes absolutely
no sense. And it doesn't reflect the people and what they want.
But you know what is so funny about that you brought that up? We have a president that got elected by the Electoral College, not by popular vote.
Yeah.
And he is the one that got to put the most people on the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like a double on democracy.
Yes.
Double on democracy. So what are you doing, your organization doing? What's the name of the organization?
Stand Up America.
Stand Up America. What is your organization doing to try to mitigate this? In other words, to try to educate folks that we need to start electing people that are going to get these proposals out in the fold.
Well, we're working really hard right now to tell members of Congress that they need to endorse the Judiciary Act, which is the bill that would add 4 seats to the Supreme Court.
Right.
And to take it seriously, members of Congress tend to see this proposal as radical, when in fact, Congress has changed the size of the Supreme Court 7 times in our history.
Oh, is it 7? Okay, yeah.
7 times, and it's usually in situations like this where the court has become so far out of whack with where the people are that it needs structural reform in order to change. So we're working really hard to build co-sponsorship on the Judiciary Act, build support for term limits, build support for a Supreme Court Code of Ethics, which thankfully this coming week the Senate Judiciary is going to vote on. And just building momentum for those reforms that used to have bipartisan support, desperately needed now. It may not happen this year, but I think we're slowly building and educating people about the need for reform.
Interestingly, the president has come out and said that he doesn't support that. Now, is he just playing not to give the Republicans an issue in 2024?
I think partly, and Joe Biden is a moderate Democrat, and he is the president. He kind of represents and tries to represent where the middle of the country is. But he, like in the voting rights fight, when we tried to pass the For the People Act and the Freedom to Vote Act, Joe Biden came along a little later and realized we need to change the filibuster. He's a senator. He was there a long time. So he liked the filibuster. He thought it worked. And then when he was finally confronted and said, my choice is between democracy and this Jim Crow relic, he chose right. We're not at that deciding point yet on court expansion. We still need members of the Congressional Progressive Caucus.
Yeah, he's going to wait to be led.
I think so. And I think that's the role of organizers, is to convince, to educate, and build a space where more and more politicians recognize court expansion is not a crazy idea. It's actually the only constitutionally protected and tested way to hold the court in check and create a permission structure for Joe Biden and others to say, this is okay, this is what we need to do, our rights are at stake, our rights to free productive health, to voting rights, to a clean environment. All of this is at stake at the court. And if they don't do anything about the court, we can pass all the legislation we want, but we won't be living in the country we deserve.
Well, you know what? I'm going to hold you to that. So I'm going to remind you, I'm going to find you after we win in 2024, after that bill passes, and whether he signs that bill. I'm going to remind you.
Okay. We've got a long road, but we're going to get there.
Let me tell you, give me a closer here. Your thoughts on the Supreme Court. Where are we going from here? Give me a closer.
Well, we had a rough term. The Supreme Court has gotten a lot of credit in the press, but in just this year, they got rid of decades of affirmative action precedent. They opened the door to discrimination against LGBTQ Americans. They narrowly decided not to embrace radical theories of electoral change and voting rights. But this is the court that a year ago struck down Roe v. Wade. They have a lot of cases on deck to expand gun rights and make gun violence even more prevalent in our country, and to roll back environmental protections. The court is an ongoing danger, and the 6-3 supermajority that the conservatives have is an active threat to all of the freedoms that you and I hold dear. So if people want to get involved, I would say go to standupamerica.com, help us out, help us lobby and organize, and tell your members of Congress to get on board with reforming the Supreme Court.
Brett, it's been an honor. Thank you so kindly for being here, and you have a wonderful rest of your conference.
Thanks, enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much.
All right, folks, that was Brett Edkins with Stand Up America, and they're doing some good work out there, informing and actually lobbying to make change. So it is so important that we get this out there. Did you want to say something?
Jack, Looks like we
Harold?
lost Egberto.
Oh, I can see myself
Well, 10
transmitted.
cans of string.
I'm telling you,
Okay.
you would have thought that it would have been much better when I transferred over to Campbell's
Hey,
soup cans
well,
instead of the Great Value cans. But apparently not.
Not cool.
Okay. Yeah. Well, go ahead and tell us your thought of the day again.
I am seeing.
Maybe do some Mockingbird impressions.
That-
Those things will. What is the difference between a
Test.
mockingbird and a grackle?
Well,
Aren't they the same thing?
crackle only makes crackling noises. The mockingbird will sing all bird songs.
Okay.
And when they, birds have a certain chirping that signals their their instincts, and the mockingbird just runs through all of them, and it's just really nice to listen.
Well.
And it's one of the things I missed since I came back from Texas, is sitting out and listening to the birds sing. I'm not hearing any of them sing down where I live on the coast. I wonder if it's the same in the interior. So, if somebody would sit out and listen for the mockingbird to sing, and tell
Can
me
anybody
they
hear
heard
me?
one, and
Am
I'd
I
be
being
much
heard? Am I
there
being
you are.
heard? This is seemed to be a software issue that I'm going to have to look into on our board, because this shouldn't really happen at all. I'm very sorry for that short stint, my brothers and my sisters. But the great thing about it is having Howard and Jack in the studio makes all the difference.
That's right. 2 gas bags that can fill the air with with whatever.
I don't quite define it that way, sir. I don't quite define it that way. But hey, I define you guys as heroes.
Yeah, I am a self-proclaimed gas bag, which is perfectly okay. And Jack,
Anyway.
you got a phone call over there.
Okay.
All right, great
All
to
right,
hear
back to
that.
the phones and back to the show.
All right, excellent. Anyway, folks, so I hope you enjoyed that with the with Brett from talking about the Supreme Court. It is important. It is imperative. Now, I tell you something, folks. What we're seeing here in America with the Supreme Court, and we've spoken about this several times, is that we have 9 people that determines whether laws created by 500, or actually, I think if it's, let's see, 4 something, 5 by 500 something people that we elected, they determine if it's going to be law or not. And if that system gets compromised, it is our responsibility to do something about it. And that is what we're going to do. And that is what you have folks like Brett working on. But anyway, Tag is in the house. Let's go ahead and get Tag in. Tag, you're in.
Good morning, Umberto. How are you?
I'm doing fine, Tag. Talk to me.
I just had an observation about the fund drive I wanted to talk about a minute.
Go for it.
You don't mind talking about the fund drive, do you?
No, this is your show. You guys call in and you guys direct, man.
My observation about the fund drive is that the overall goal is less than I have ever seen it. And I would think that people would want to step up and say, we can achieve that goal a lot quicker and a lot easier this time around than some of the goals in the past.
Yes,
And
I agree.
I don't know why the goal is so low this time, but I was thinking maybe it's because more people are donating in between fund drives.
No, let me give you Tag. I can tell you what. Let me tell you what's going on here, Tag. What happened is this is just a 2-week drive. It's not the full drive. And, the thing that we're trying to do is not kind of overbear on people. There's going to be another fund drive as well. But what we don't want to do is just come out there and we're trying. We have change in management. We're trying different things to keep the flow better or whatever. It's all about the people that are listening to us and how we can best serve. So when you see things like this happening, you know that maybe they're trying new things in such a way to do it in a good manner. So no, let me tell you better. even if we have a fund drive goal, we would love to make twice the goal, because if we made twice the goal, we can actually have we can have longer spent time periods between fund drives, and that's what we would hope for. Let me tell you better, what we're looking for is people to say, okay, I tell you what, we're going to give you $10 a month, $20 a month, $30 a month, so that we can look at the cash flow that's coming into the station and say, okay, we have this amount of costs, and later on we don't have to go to a fund drive so much because we have these dedicated listeners that are funding us on a monthly basis. If we could get those numbers high enough, we could have the fund drives that much less, if at all. I mean, if we had enough coming in on a sustainer level and building sustainers as we have our programs, we could get rid of fund drives, but we just have to build and get there. And that's what our new management is doing. That's what, when you see Howard come out with new techniques of approaching the people in the field, etc. That's our goal. Our goal is to build a group of folks that are going to be given on a monthly basis to keep us sustainable. And like I said, most of us work here on a volunteer basis, so we're doing our part, and we're asking the community that loves what we're doing to do their part as well by calling 713-526-5738 and hit extension 1 to donate and extension 2 to speak. Go ahead, Tag.
Well, for me, it seems like our money is being well spent. When we don't have to, fund a fund drive quite as much. And so
yes,
if we have more fund drives with lower goals, I guess I can understand that part of it too. But I think everybody down there has done real well as far as pinching pennies and making those dollars go a little further.
Yes,
so
you're right.
We appreciate all the volunteers that get on the air and let us express our opinions and stuff. So, but it seems like a good value to support the station.
Tag, and we are thankful for your support. We are thankful for your support, both given and your support for being a part of the program quite often. So thank you so kindly for being here, my brother.
Thank you. Have a good day, guys.
All right, then let's go to Howard.
That's okay. I've been called a lot worse than that and deserved it in some points. Tag is incredibly right on the fact that we have a lower goal this time. The goal this time is to get sustainers, as you were saying. If we have so many sustainers, we would like to get rid of fund drives. Honestly, we would. Not one of us likes the fund drive. The listeners don't like it. We don't like it, but we need it. We have to have it. It's something we have to have. It is the lifeblood of KPFT. The dollars that are spent here are spent wisely. We're not buying gigantic pieces of equipment. We're not wasting it. We are good stewards of your money. And I think you can tell that every time you turn on your radio and you hear something you like. So the goal of this fund drive and the future fund drives is for sustainers. If you become a sustainer and we have enough cash flow coming in, we can get rid of 1, 2, maybe all of the fund drives. And we would all love that. So when you go to make your donation, keep that in mind. Become a sustainer, because we don't like fund drives. Egberto, do you like fund drives?
I hate fund drive. I have a lot to talk about, and it detracts. Yeah.
It disinterrupts the programming.
Yes, it does.
It makes the listener go, oh my God, they're begging for money again. And this is how you stop it. You become a sustainer. You
Absolutely so.
$30
Absolutely.
per month. And we'd bill it directly until you say stop. And it's our goal to get rid of fund drives. Trust me, it is, because I don't like them either. Now, Jack's got something to say about this here.
Come on in, Jack.
Yeah, I put the pen to it last week, and if 2,000 of our listeners would contribute $25 a month, that would be $50,000 a month. That's the budget that basically they want to run on. But I know it's going to be a combination of people, contributing $60 a year at $5 a month rate, or $120 a year at a $10 per month rate, or $240 a year at a $20 rate. combination of those, we have enough listeners, you know, to get that kind of funding, but putting it into the sustainer is the way we get stability, month to month budgeting power. And I would like to. I thought about doing subscriptions, selling a subscription to KPFT for a year,
Well, I
and
mean,
then be able to sustain
Jack,
it.
let me just tell you, I'm a volunteer here. You know, I do the program. I don't get paid for the program, but I'm not only a volunteer. I'm given the program. And let me just tell you, folks, I'm a full-time political activist now. I gave up my software company and everything else to do this, right? Because I believe in America. I believe in what I'm doing, and some people call it altruistic. I call it I have a kid, and I want a better world for my kid. So I not only volunteer to do this, and I'm not only doing the activism thing, but I'm also a donor to the station. So I ask all. I'm not asking anybody to do something that I'm not monetarily doing as well. And again, it's hard. I'll be honest with you. Being an activist, trying to live on activism and trying to get a few of your books sold or that kind of stuff, it's not easy. It's hard. But if you really believe as I believe in the country, and I believe in KPFT as being a conduit in which we can get a message out in a capitalist society that simply goes ahead and programs people's minds, oh, we have a jewel here. Look, Howard can be at any big station, he's here. Jack can be doing quite a few other things. Many of us can be doing quite a few other things, but this is what we believe in because we believe in America, we believe in society, and we just ask others to kind of help all of us out, including yourself, by supporting what we do here. 713-526-5738. Hit extension 1 to contribute. Please do so in the name of Politics Done Right so that it'll be tagged to this program, as well as go to kpft.org. I see that Mark is on the line. Let's go ahead and bring Mark into the fold. Mark, you're on.
Hello, Egberto. How are you this fine morning?
I am doing fine, Mark. Talk to me.
I got a couple questions. I only have a few minutes. I got to go to work, but I want your opinion on the Lena Hidalgo. Why did she disappear?
Well, she's having issues with depression, and so she took some time off to go ahead and get the medical help that she needs.
Okay. If she's got those, the lady's in charge of millions or billions of dollars, and
Yeah.
she just. If I did that on my job, they'd probably tell me, "Well, we don't need you anymore." She needs to be held accountable if she's going to be able to fulfill her position.
Mark, I'm glad that you said that because you open a very important door, and I'm glad that you said that because I'm not concerned about Lena Hidalgo having to take time off for taking care of her health because first of all, no business, society, or whatever is dependent on one person. When you hear me talk about the collective, about each of us needing each other, that's exactly what I mean. And just like Lena is the head of our county, but she has a good staff that works under her. But let's talk about you, Mark, because that's more important right now. You know what you just said. Lena Hidalgo is on top of everything, and she can take the time off. If it were me, I would be fired. I don't get that opportunity. Let me tell you something about crabs in a bucket, and I always talk about this with different groups, and this is what our economic system does do to us, right? And it's the following, Mark. I want, when Mark is on the job, if Mark had a mental issue, if Mark had an issue with his kid who needed his support now, if Mark had an issue with his wife who needed something now that precluded him from going to work, that he would not have to sacrifice his family, that he would not have to sacrifice his well-being because of an economic system that forces him to work at all costs. Business first, personal stuff second. You called Mark to open an important door. and that door is saying we need to start thinking humanely about our brothers and sisters. I don't want Mark, if he had an issue, to sit back and believe that, oh my God, if something like what happened to Elena Hidalgo happened to me, I would be out of a job. So why does she get a break? I want her to get the break. But you know who else I want to get the break, brother? Brother Mark. Did I make my point, sir?
Okay, good point. I mean, I agree with that. You know, your health should be first before your job. Correct. And, you know, but if she has all these problems, I mean, geez. I mean, this isn't just like a regular job.
No, it is sir. Mark, I want to interrupt you here for one important reason, Mark. That you see that kind of thinking is what I'm trying to get all of us away from. Hidalgo is the head of the county, and her job is important. I don't know what you do, Mark, but if you were sweeping floors in the middle of Houston, we need you. And the thing about, look, I can understand why Hidalgo would make more than the person sweeping the floors. I get it. But we have to get away from what our economic system has done to us into thinking some are more valuable than the other. And that is your thought process that you just put out there. That's how we were programmed to think. I am trying to deprogram us from that. And go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Let me ask you this. She makes very important decisions.
Yes, she does.
Does her mental health would, you know, does it affect her decision making? That's my, you know,
and that's a very good point, sir. That is a very good point. And if that is the case, there are remedies within law, and we should have remedies within law. Is that if she cannot do the job that she was elected to do or hired to do, that there would be a way for her to step down temporarily if it's a temporary situation, or permanently if it's a permanent situation. So what you just said there is very important, and it's something we should think about. But what I don't want us to do, sir, is to have that thing like, well, if on my job, if I had a mental issue, they'll fire me. Oh my God, we have to get away from that thinking, brother. That's all I'm saying. So it's important that you called in here and said that, because I think more of America needs to hear how we should be handling the issue as far as our intersectionality between work, whether it's be governmental or private, and and humanity, if you will. Anything else, Mark?
Well, you know, I think my personal opinion on her is that she got elected and she wasn't ready for this big job. And I think all the pressures and everything got to her.
No, well, let me tell you, Mark. Let me just say, Mark. Mark, it is okay to have that opinion that you don't think she was qualified. Let me just tell you this, and I don't know if you have faith in me, you trust the words that I say or not, but I know her personally, okay? And this is a tough-minded young woman. She's not a conservative like a lot of folks would like her to be, mostly those who don't like her. She's a progressive, and she has progressive policies, and she's the one who was elected because Harris County is more of a progressive county. It is okay for you not to like her policies, just like I don't like the policies of the governor. But to solve that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get somebody who supports the policies that I support, right? So and then when I say I mean a lot of people like me support. And actually, I would love to bring you, Mark, into the fold of progressivity, because I think, based on the things that you're doing, I think it would serve you well, more so than not. But it's something that I would have to convince you by earning your trust. But anyway, anything else, my friend?
It's going to be hard to change
I know, but you know what? I know, but I will never give up trying, because, like I said, I think the things that I believe in will be better for you and your family, but I'll have to convince you of that, because ultimately it's your decision, sir.
Well, I think that she needs to be evaluated before she takes active role again, and I think it should be somebody, a doctor or something that does that's non-biased.
Right, and that's where she's at, sir. That is where she's at right now, where they're evaluating her. And again, remember, she put herself in there again, there are a lot of people that are doing work for you right now in government and elsewhere that have serious mental problems, and they're just making bad decisions. And I think her decision to come out, knowing that she's going to get a lot of spears from people to do that, I think that took some bravery, especially since her political career is on the high ascent. And to do that, she knows that that is a big thing that she's going to have to overcome based on the psychology that we currently have in America. But I am hoping that as time goes on, we change. But look, I got to go to the other call, Mark, and I do appreciate you bringing this subject up. It's important, and I hope I've made a little bit of difference in your thought process.
Right.
Even if
Thank you,
it's a little
Eduardo.
bit. You take care, brother. All right, let's go ahead and go on to Gonzalo. Entra, mi hermano cubano. Oh, but before
Okay,
I need,
sorry
hold on,
about
hold
the
on, hold on, hold
disruption yesterday. I don't know what happened, but
on.
thank you very much again. I want to encourage listeners to contribute to your program. I think you're doing a wonderful job again, and please do contribute. About your guest, very good initiative. I think we need an eighth time to change the amount of judges in the Supreme Court for several reasons. I also want to add about that, and this has been my take about other people in power. We need to limit the age of people with such a power. I think it's imperative. We live in other words. I know that people that has been there have passed away, and I think that was a unique time for Trump to have two. I'm not sure whether he had the chance to appoint two Supreme Court judges. I think, I think I'm right. So
No, he
far,
appointed three. Trump appointed three.
so that's a unique opportunity that he had, and that was a big loss for progressive and Democratic Party. I think Joe has had the chance to appoint only one so far.
I think he
And
did
that
too,
was
right? He appointed one. Yes.
so far one, and I don't know. I mean, that's a very sensitive topic. We don't want anybody to pass away, but unfortunately, due to that age, because I think they are appointed for lifetime.
Life. For life.
Am I right?
Yes, they're for life.
Yeah, right. So I think rather that I know the population has grown exponentially and we need more representation. That's a very good initiative. I know the one that I'm just proposing will sound like nonsense, but I think that's my opinion. And thank you very
Gonzalo,
much.
I agree. Gonzalo, I agree with you. Let me do a quick thank you right now. To Ravi Pereira. Thank you so kindly for your kind contribution to Politics Done Right in the name of, or rather to KPFT in the name of Politics Done Right. I'd like to ask all the people that are listening right now to give us a call at 713-526-5738. Hit extension number 1 to support the program with however you can. You have the T-shirt for $100. You have the t-shirt, the Politics Done Right T-shirt for $100. The Summer Sizzle for $100. You can have coffee with Egberto for $250. And again, this is just saying, hey guys, we're trying to give you a little token for helping to support this station. You can also go ahead and I think the $40 is for becoming a voting member of the Pacifica Network. Please give us a call, as Gonzalo Gonzalo is a supporter as well. Every single person that has the ability to do so, we ask you so kindly to support. This is an important. We believe this is an important program, like many others, to serve our community. Remember, this is a place where you have a voice. Notice how many people can call in and say what they have to say here, and have millions listen to them. We want to thank you, first of all, for calling in and saying your piece. We also want to be able to thank you for saying we are going to support a station worth supporting. Please call 713-526-5738. Hit extension number 1 to donate. Please donate in the name of Politics Done Right for KPFT. And likewise, 713-526-5738. Extension 2 if you'd like to talk. And go to kpft.org and you can get support in any form, or rather provide support in any form at the website as well. Gonzalo, continue. You got about a minute. Gonzalo? Okay, I guess we lost Gonzalo. If Gonzalo comes back, we will be back with Gonzalo. Anyway, folks, I have another video, but since I see another call coming in, I'm probably gonna forego that video. Gonzalo, I expected you to come back, but you didn't. So anyhow, let me continue. Anyhow, I had another video. I don't think I'm going to play it. I'm going to wait for this call to come through because there's another call, and I don't want to keep that person waiting for a 10-minute video. You can always go to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter, and you will be able to see all the links that we were going to be playing today, which there are other videos there as well. All right, let's go ahead and bring Alistair into the house. Good morning, Alistair. How are you doing?
Hey, good morning, brother. All right.
My sister, talk to me.
Sweet baby Jesus. Mark is so out of touch with Nina Hidalgo's checking herself in because she needed care. Is it any different if she had a stroke or had a heart attack that she would need medical assistance? I can't even believe I'm still having to convince people that your mental health, even though, yes, her job is very important and she is in charge of a lot, but does he think that I seriously, I'm so flabbergasted and I'm so upset about the opinion like that. I can't. Seriously.
Now, my sister, let me first tell you, calm down. You're on Politics Done Right with your big brother. You're here with your big brother. You're here with your big brother, sis. You're here with your big brother. You're here, and you know what I try to do. So let me just let me say this, Alistair. You are a very I've spoken to you here on my show at KPFT and the internet show. You are a very, very smart woman, and you know a whole lot about life and people. Okay. Now let me just no, that's a statement of fact. But let me go ahead and say something else here, Alistair. We in this country and many other countries, we have been so programmed, and a lot of people don't see that this is an economic system that has programmed us this way to maximize the work they get out of us. So how do we do that? We make people that are ill, we make people that have certain sort of disabilities, we make people have all these people that have certain issues, right? Because all we see people as are widgets to produce. We make sure that being sick is a bad thing, even though it's a normal thing, right? You have periods of sickness, illnesses of many different types. But our business class, if you will, that's not what, we had to fight to get healthcare. We had to fight for all these things. And the reason why, Alistair, is because, again, we in this system, we just look at, when I talk about antiseptic slavery, some people get mad, I said in the past, slavery used to look like me, but now slavery look like us. All right? It was always us. It was always us. We just kept one group feeling a little bit better because they can say, at least I'm not them. But now, if we teach people, Alistair, if we teach people being sick is bad, not wanting to take a day off for your kids is bad, just all you should want to do is go ahead and work and work and work for the master. All is good
Yeah.
for business. And that's what we got to get away from. And Mark, it's just that is Mark is not a bad person. That's just how we are programmed, Alistair. And you have been deprogrammed. Not everybody is yet, man.
Yeah.
Come on in, Alistair.
Well, we're going to keep working on it and enlighten people because, yeah, that way of thinking gets people killed.
Yes, yes. And you're right. And you know what, though, Alistair? That's why we need programs like what we're doing. That's why we need callers like you. And that's why we need callers like Mark. Because think about it, Alistair. Mark opened the door for me to say certain things and for you to say certain things that inform the body politic. So we need everybody. Capiche?
Yeah. Capiche.
Okay.
I guess.
Thank you very much for calling, my sister.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, brother. You guys all have a great day, everybody that's listening. And stay safe and blessed, everyone.
Thank you very much, sis. All right, let's go ahead and bring Brother Brian into the fold.
Yeah, am I on?
Yes, you are.
Okay. You constantly repeat yourself about big corporations working off the backs of others.
Yes.
Where would these backs be if it was not for the corporations?
Oh, I love that you asked that.
Oh, and Joy, Love, have you ever heard of those? They
Of
own
what,
Love
sir?
Truck. They're worth about $9 billion.
Okay.
Where would those employees be if it was not for the hard work and the dedication of two people that started a corporation in the 60s, and now they're worth billions of dollars? Where would they be?
I love that you said that. I love that you said that. I love that you said that. Because nobody builds a corporation for $2 billion and make $2 billion or $10 billion or $9 billion. Here's where I want to take you, Brian. All right. All these billionaires had good ideas. I won't take that away. But their billion-dollar ideas could not have been realized without the other folks that made that billion idea come to fruition. And that they're the ones profiting from that. You see, we have to change our mindset, Brian. You are out there defending people that don't give a damn about you, okay? And you are somehow believing that they could exist without you. And I'm telling you, Brian, you are worth a hell of a lot more than that. You see, you have to change, and this is where I'm going to tell you something. I don't normally say you have to, but I'm going to tell my brother Brian, you have to change your mindset. Because your mindset currently is that of a servant, okay? And you have to realize that you are much more than just, let me finish, please, my dear brother, I made you speak. You are much more than a slave, Brian. You are the creator of much, whether you notice it or not. Our system teaches you not to think about the power that you have innately. And I'm here to tell you otherwise. So you can call here and scream at me, my brother, for defending you, but I'll continue to do that because there's nobody that has earned $1 billion. And I am going to try my utter best over time to show you that. But Brian, I got to go to Josie, but you get my point. You can call in here every day and we'll have a talk and I'll make sure and be respectful to you, sir. All right?
Yeah, I'm not a slave, man. I'm not a slave.
Well, let's make sure you're not. I'm trying to make sure you're not. Because if you think a billionaire that you are subservient to makes you anything other than that, my brother, and that's what I'm trying to tell us. We are not. They could not have made any of that without us. Come on in, Josie. Josie, are you here? Josie. All right, am I missing something? Is Josie not on the line? Josie, take yourself off of mute, my friend, and come in anytime you want. We only have about 3 minutes left, but come on in. Come on in. Anyway, folks, I want to kind of clarify what I did with Brian there. If you are out there, if you are struggling in life, if you're struggling, and you are somehow thinking that those billionaires on Wall Street that are so happy with the billions that they're making from the increase in prices that they've charged you, and if you don't see the equation between either either some sort of a Stockholm syndrome of you defending that which oppresses you. That is the mindset that we have to change. Come on in, Donald. We don't have a lot of time, but I'd like to talk to you. Come on in, Donald.
Good morning, Alberto.
Good morning, my brother, and I want to thank Ravi Pereira again. Go ahead. Yes, sir. Come on in.
Alberto, how dare you tell these people that they should not be in the corporation making them money? Next, you'll be telling me that a non-compete, non-disclosure, and intellectual property does not belong to that corporation.
Thank you for seeing that, sir. Thank you for seeing that. You're absolutely right. You know what? I'm going to have a rapid fire here because the phone. Go ahead.
No, I'm done. Have a good day.
Thank you, Donald. All right, let's just throw line 2 on. Let me just do a rapid fire here, if you can, that is. Throw line 2 hot. And line 2, who am I speaking to on line 2? Just say hello, whoever's on the line.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. I heard you. Who's this?
This is Al.
Give me a quick 15 seconds. We're running out of time.
I just want to commend you on the way you're handling and your thought process on your comments to the people today. We need some more of that.
I appreciate that. And again, having comments like you just makes me want to do this even more. So thank you so kindly, my friend. And please keep calling, please keep listening.
Thank you, Alberto.
You have a great day. All right, folks, I got to throw this right back to Howard and Jack in the studio before we close down. We don't have a lot of time. 15 seconds, my two brothers.
Mental health, recognizing your shortcomings and acting to get help is the most healthy, responsible choice to make. I applaud her courage and support her comeback. Everybody has some mental illness sometimes. So let's be kind when people go through this and support them. That's how you get them through it. That's how we do it.
Thank you, brother. Howard.
Oh, we're just getting ready to wrap it up here. I've heard through the grapevine that you've got some donations to acknowledge.
Yes, Ravi Pereira.
Yes, let's get to that screen and thank these folks calling in and making pledges.
Look, I really appreciate it. The only one that I show on my screen right now, Ravi Pereira. If you see another one, Howard, please tell me.
I've got we've got one screen and I've got 3 things on it right now.
All right, thank you, my brother. But we got to get out of here. Howard and Jack, thank you so kindly for being there. Folks, I really appreciate your ears and your eyes. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right. Call 713-526-5738, extension 1. Donate in the name of Politics Done Right. I am what? Out.